This is the Swordfish by REMETTE. Now, I like this blade, but I also hate it. And near the end of this video, I'll show you exactly why. But why I like this blade? Well, this is a really neat gravity knife. And if you are a fan of gravity knives, you will be a fan of this because it is just really neat how this deploys and retracts. And it's done by this button right here. You simply slide it forward, hold it in an upright position, and it disappears. And how it does that, if you look very closely, there's two little armatures that come out and release the blade to go in. They also hold the blade from coming out. So to release the blade or deploy it, you have to push forward and point the knife in the downward position. And that is how a gravity blade works. Now, these are illegal in several states, so make sure it's not illegal in your state to have or own or carry. What do I like about this blade? Well, definitely the fact that it's a gravity blade, but it's also a titanium handle, a big piece, chunk, whatever you want to call it, a big piece of titanium here, fully enclosing the blade. I love this design. It gives you a three-dimensional effect the way that is machined. It is really, really beautiful. The overall length of this knife when deployed, so if we bring it to the 0 mark here, is roughly close to 8, let's call it 7 and just over 3/4 inches when fully deployed. When retracted, or when fully deployed, I should say, the blade itself is, I don't know, 3 inches? Yeah, I'd say 3 inches. It's a really, really nice blade. Let's see if we can see what's the blade material here. Can we focus in on that at all? Let's see, M390. Okay, there you go. N390. So it's got a good blade, a good hard blade, keeps a really nice sharp edge. It's a nice blade. I bought this. I thought I liked it so much that I ended up getting a second one. They come in these nice little leather sheaths, so if you don't want to clip it to your pocket, you want to take care of the knife, you can just stick it right in the sheath itself. And of course, like many knives nowadays, they come in a travel case. So here's the other one in the blacked out blade. I really, really like the look of this blade. So let's quickly get right into why I don't like this blade. And this is a major gripe of mine, and I don't know how many other people have found this to be true. If you look at this carefully, this mechanism seems to work really, really well, and it does. But here's the problem. When you're carrying this upside down in your pocket on the clip, so this is on the outside, this is on the inside, this can tend to rub against your leg, especially when you're sitting down. And what I've noticed is as your pants rides down, it can partially deploy that blade. Just like so. I've had it deploy like that, or even a little further at times. Not quite that much. It's usually just enough to be a bit of a problem, so that is something I do not like. I don't want my gravity blade deploying on my leg. Let's see, I'm not getting it to deploy at all right now. But it is a very sharp knife to have deploying onto your leg. I cannot see why anybody would want to carry this. And I carried these for a couple weeks before I started noticing that there you go. I didn't even try it, just partially deployed. So I don't know what the problem is with the mechanism that holds it into place, but that is something REMETTE really needs to look at. I hope I'm the only one experiencing this, but I get the feeling I'm not. I do like this knife. I think it's a really, really beautiful knife. I love the details on them. I love the carbon fiber inlays on them. Do I think it's necessary? No, you could probably just reduce the cost and get rid of that, and it'd still look just as cool by running the details right up the the blade housing itself, but is it still a nice look? Yeah, I can understand why they want to do it that way, because they're probably running it on the same machine and just flipping it from one side to the other. I would almost bet if you take that off, there's probably even a slot, but probably not, because there's no holes on this side like there are here. So anyway, I do like these knives, but I don't love them. I don't love them because they are dangerous to have in your pocket, to be quite frank. There's a possibility that that little bit can cut your leg just by partially deploying from rubbing up and down your pocket. And it may sound like that would never happen, but I wear looser pants. And when I sit down, I actually felt this being pushed forward a little bit, because it doesn't take much. Maybe even if you just put a little more spring force on that deployment button, because they slide forward like in a breath. So again, just by the simple nature of rubbing against your pants a few times, that rubs forward and partially deploys, especially as you're sitting down, the blade, and you don't want any partial deployment. So do I recommend this knife? I have to say, for that reason, no. I can't recommend this knife other than for a collector who just wants to show it off in their collection. It is a nice looking, well fabricated, well made knife, but that is a flaw that I find to be quite dangerous. And honestly, I don't know about most of the other men, and maybe some of you women out there, if you decide to carry a knife of this nature, I would not want this deploying near my woo-woo parts. So yeah, can't recommend this one. Beautiful knife. I do like the aesthetics. I like the deployment when it's not deploying in my pants.